All right, here's where I want to start. Anyone hear about this? I have to give a shout out to my friend L, some bitch I know, who's been banned off of like every platform except for like Gab and Truth Social. So if you're on, like, listen, like, when I was permanently banned on Twitter, I really started like I had to out of like necessity. I had to start interacting on different platforms. And I've always had accounts on Gab, on Minds, on Gitter, on True Social, on all of these different platforms. And I was interacting on those platforms with people. And by the way, Gab is actually really not that bad when you develop a nice little block list of all the neo-Nazis that are on that site. And yes, there are neo-Nazis on the site, there absolutely are. But like if you develop a nice little block list, Gab becomes a much nicer place to be. And I will say too, like there is something just very kind of liberating about knowing you can say whatever the fuck you want on Gab and you're not going to get banned ever. I appreciate having that option. It just takes a little while to block all the neo-Nazis to be able to make it a nice experience. But once you get there, it's absolutely a much nicer experience. I'll also say this, Minds, if you haven't been on Minds, I really enjoy Minds. Minds has like a cool hipster vibe to it. It's much nicer. I don't know. Like I think there's so many far superior Twitter alternatives. I don't know why Twitter is still the place everyone are going, but anyway, I found out this information. Ironically, we're looking at it on Twitter right now, and I know that's ironic, but I found out about it on Gab from my friend L. And it's well, a little concerning. Okay, let's just take a look at this. California's 2020 Senate Bill 145 aims to eliminate inequality in sex offender registration requirements, fact checkers report. In September 2020, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed Senate Bill 145 into law. The bill prevents young adults from I don't even know if I can read this with a straight face. All right. Listen to the I'm gonna make this maybe a little bit bigger. There we go. There well, maybe not that big. There we go. The bill prevents young adults engaging in non-vaginal sex with a minor within 10 years of their age from being automatically added to sex offender registry and allows a state judge to make a decision instead. The bill was described by Senator Scott Wiener as an anti-discrimination law as it protects LGBTQ people from facing automatic registration as sex offenders. Okay. Yeah, the bot says instead of making straight sex just as penalized, they reduce the penalties for gay sex with kids. Let's just read this again, and I would like to hear from you guys if you find this at all concerning. The bill prevents young adults engaging in non-vaginal sex. Okay, so what might a young adult be? 18, 19, 20? Can we all agree that 18, 19, 20 years old would be a young adult? The bill prevents young adults engaging in non-vaginal sex with a minor within 10 years of their age. So we're talking, if we can agree that 18, 19, 20 young adults, some might argue is up to 25, fine. Within 10 years of their age, that means 8 years old. Within 10 years of their age, for an 18-year-old, that means 8 years old. Or 9 years old if they're 19. 10 years old if there's 20. The bill prevents young adults engaging in non-vaginal sex with a minor within 10 years of their age from being automatically added to a sex offender registry. Why on earth Might it be concerning to some people that a 19-year-old who engages in non-vaginal sex with a 9-year-old not be added to the sex offender registry? And you're going to tell me this is non-discriminatory? This is all about equality? Excuse me, what? But really, the fact checkers assure us. The fact checkers really do assure us that no, 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 no. This isn't about protecting the P word at all. This is, guys, this is this is definitely not about protecting the P word. This is not about protecting groomers at all. This is not about protecting the P word at all. Because the AP says so. And by the way, if anyone ever trusts the AP or Reuters, look at this. Claims that SB 145, a bill passed by the California State Senate in August 2020, legalizes pedophilia are false. The bill is intended to treat all statutory R cases regardless of what kind of sex they involve. Well, that's not really reassuring. That's not the most reassuring thing I've ever heard. And why I think this is happening, and I wrote about this on my Actively Unwoke Substack a while ago. I'm going to pop this link in the chat. I think that their end goal is to make pedos or minor attracted persons a protected class. That's what I think the end goal is here. Let me just read to you a little bit of this Substack. This will be the most screwed up thing you read all day. Let me just make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see. But you must read it because you must understand just how depraved the woke ideology on the progressive left is. The end goal of radical gender ideology, queer theory, grooming, etc. is that they want to make being a minor attracted person into a protected class. Currently, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination in virtually every employment circumstance on the basis of race, color, religion, gender, pregnancy, or national origin. In other words, if you are an employer, you can't fire people or refuse to hire them in the first place based solely on any of these traits. This is federal law. They want to add minor attracted person to the list of protected classes. If they are successful, that means that employers cannot discriminate against someone for being a pedophile. I really want people to think about this for a second. I think this is where they're going. And I think they're going to do it within 5 years if people don't wake the F up, stop dicking around, and start actually making tangible efforts to fight back that are not reeing and complaining on Twitter. If they make pedophiles a protected class, that means they could go get a job as a kindergarten teacher, and it would be illegal to fire them for being a pedophile. They could get a job as a bus driver, a janitor, a gym teacher, a social worker, assigned to work with vulnerable kids, etc., and it would be illegal to fire them for being a pedophile. Even more, it could potentially be a violation of their civil rights if you refuse to hire them in the first place. They could literally put minor attracted person on their resume or all over their social media and then argue that the reason you didn't give them the job as the kindergarten teacher was because they were a minor attracted person and sue you for your trouble. I really want people to understand this. Becoming a protected class not only means you can't fire them for the protected class, it means that if they apply for a job as a kindergarten teacher, have minor attracted person all over their social media, and you decline to hire them, they could very literally sue you and claim that the reason you didn't hire them was because they were part of a protected class. This is what happens when you make something a protected class, and they'll achieve that by making the public believe that being a pedophile is no different than being gay. And they'll do it under the guise of equality. And if you want to see evidence of this, because they're already going in this direction, I've got some videos, I've got some more explanation there about what they're doing and why they're doing it. And so if you want to read my full article on it, head over to carlin.substack.com and search for the title of the article, End Goal. They want to make pedophiles, minor attracted person, a protected class. And I chatted the link in earlier if you would like that. But let me just pop it in again, just for, just for posterity, for the thing. There you go. Anyone else a little disturbed by this? And even more importantly than that, is anyone else disturbed by the fact that the media is covering like this, like it is, and running cover for what is really going on? What this is, and I've said this a million times, what the woke left want are to gain as much power as possible, to destabilize the system, attack capitalism, usher in their Marxist utopia. That's what they want. And so, what they're doing with this particular initiative is they are trying to destabilize the system. That is the goal of this. That's what you understand. People ask all the time, why are they doing this? 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 This is awful. This is unthinkable. This is unconscionable. Why would they do this? Because everything that the woke progressive left does is about destabilizing the system. One of the things that we have learned from Socialism Saturday, which is why people really should come and watch Socialism Saturday, is that the socialists, the legitimate farthest of the far left, they are trying to argue that all children should be born via surrogacy in order to get rid of the biological bonds that people have to each other. Because if you have biological bonds with each other, you are going to operate very differently than if your only loyalty is to the state. It is all part of destabilizing the system. That's all it is. You have to look at things through that lens. Every time they do something crazy, every time they do something that you don't understand why they're doing it, the goals of the woke left are gain as much power as possible, destabilize the system, attack capitalism, usher in their Marxist utopia. That is it. And once you start repeating those goals to yourself over and over again, repeatedly, every chance you get, every time they do something crazy, you have to remind yourself the goals of the woke left are to gain as much power as possible, destabilize the system, attack capitalism, usher in their Marxist utopia. And that will help you understand why they are doing what they are doing. Every time, without fail, that's what's going on. And this is just one more example of that.